What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about where the heck I've been for the last couple of months, and we're going to talk about some things coming up and hopefully what the channel will look like in the future. All of that and more coming right up, so stay tuned. All right, everybody. I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and I genuinely mean that. I feel like it's been forever since I've been on here. It's been a couple months. I want to know how you're doing. Let me know in the comments down below. I miss you guys. I know that there's not a lot of things like this on YouTube where we are listening to Christian music, we're listening to rock and metal, we're talking about these songs and these messages and all that stuff. And so I want you guys to know, if there's anybody out there who feels like they need more of this, I want you to know that I need this too. There's a part of me that needs to keep coming back to this microphone to continue talking about these things, because these things need to be talked about. And there's just something about doing what God has created you to do. And God has created me to talk about Christian rock and metal. So with that, if you're new to this channel, that's what we do. My name is Adam Castro. This is Sanctify Studios. I create and examine content that is sanctifying and biblical, and I try to highlight those artists who are intentional about creating content like that. Forgive me, I haven't done this in a while. So if you're interested in stuff like that, then you can do this channel a huge favor. You can do me a huge favor. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff. And like I said before, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your last couple of months have been. I honestly really care. I want to engage in more conversations. For those of you who have left comments in the last couple of months, I really do try to go and reply to all these comments. So I've been active. But there's just been so much that's been going on, you guys. So many things. And I'm going to try to tackle all of that today in this video. And hopefully after that, we will be able to just get right back into reacting to Christian rock and metal and other stuff as well, if I ever get to the other stuff. But yeah, guys, I have been swamped with just so many different things coming at me. And I want to let you guys know what has been happening so that I'm not just like, hey, yeah, we're getting back into it. I want you guys to know what's been going on. So a big reason why there was a pause on these videos was actually because this studio was housing somebody for a little bit. And brother of mine, it was awesome. It's so cool to have someone from the Christian community, period, to fellowship with you. But this guy in particular was Christian rock community. So it was awesome having him around. But the studio was occupied for a little bit. And then after that, I actually went and led worship for a summer camp for some kids. And it was a week-long thing. It was so awesome. I love doing stuff like that. I don't know if you know, but I'm a worship leader at my church in La Palma. And I've grown up leading worship for Sunday service, for youth groups, but also for summer camps. And so it's really awesome to be able to go back and do stuff like that. And it was just a huge, huge privilege and honor. Summer camps, honestly, are, I feel like, a huge tool for the newer generation to learn that they don't need to be immersed in the culture that's around them, that they don't need to be in the latest and greatest apps and know what's popular and all this stuff. Like when you get away to some camp with a bunch of other kids who are all focused on trying to honor God with their lives, and they're all kind of unsure about how to do that. They're growing up, they're going through puberty, they're learning stuff about themselves, and they're learning about their faith, they're learning about who they're going to become, right? And I just think there's something real special about getting away and doing that with people who are not just the people that you normally see, who are from different churches, from some different areas. And so I have a huge heart for just wanting to help the youth and the younger generations to kind of learn from our mistakes, right? Our generation, the millennial generation, made a lot of mistakes. And that's why there's such a huge like deconstruction movement. And so if we can do what we can to pour into these kids our wisdom and our bad examples, right? And tell them not to do the same things that we did. I just think that's super helpful. And this camp in particular did not allow for these kids to be on their phones. And so they're unplugged for a whole week. And that's just such an awesome opportunity for these kids to realize that they don't need that stuff. I mean, I remember a time before apps and, you know, iPods and MP3 players and all that stuff. And these kids don't know a world without that stuff. So to spend a week just focused on building relationships, just focused on the Word of God, just focused on listening to what God wants to show them, I think it's super helpful. So if you got summer camps, and not all summer camps are the same, this in particular camp was like a leadership camp. And so I know there's some outreach camps, there's some leadership camps, there's some, you know, hard rules and structured camps, and then there's some that are just supposed to be fun and the Bible's just kind of thrown in. But ultimately, I think no matter what, God can use any one of those camps to help encourage some kids. And so yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So that happened. And then shortly after that, and I'm going to show you a video, shortly after that, I actually got to be a part of my band, Classic Disaster, got to be a part of the Rockin Worship Bootcamp in Arizona. So I'm going to show you a little clip of that in a second. But basically what it is, it's kind of like Camp Electric over in Tennessee. I think it's in Tennessee. It's kind of like Camp Electric. When I was growing up, it was a dream. It was a dream to be a part of something like Camp Electric, because what it was is this place that you go to and all of your favorite Christian artists, contemporary rock, you know, usually not metal, but usually contemporary and rock. So like Toby Mac, Skillet, Pillar, probably Disciple, probably some worship artists, but all these musicians would be there doing seminars and teaching you how to use your instrument, teaching you how to write music, teaching you how to do all these awesome things and do some breakout sessions and all that stuff. And then there would be nightly concerts from those bands. I don't know if you guys remember when Pillar released their Confessions album, they had a few of those videos from Camp Electric where they were playing the songs like Shine and what's the other one? The other one was Call to Action. So those were taken from Camp Electric, and I used to watch the heck out of those because I loved seeing the kids. I loved seeing, like, I wanted to be in there. I wanted to be a part of the group that was there when I was younger. And just never happened, you know, never got to be a part of it and anything like that. I know some people who were a part of it, and I'm super jealous, super envious. But this church and this group and this family in Arizona has been putting on events like that there in Chandler, Arizona. And there's bands that have been a part of it, like Spoken, Relentless Flood, and then KJ52 has been a part of it a couple of years. Manic Drive has been a part of it a couple of years. And this year, Nate Parrish and Classic Disaster were invited to be a part of it alongside Zana. So that was really cool. KG52 was there again. Manic Drive was there again. A couple other awesome artists were there. We Are Vessel was really kind of leading the charge with a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. So We Are Vessel is one of the bigger bands there. And it was just so cool. It was just so cool to be a part of it, to do some breakout sessions. So I actually got to teach a little bit as well. I taught a breakout session on being a band on a budget, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm in California, and so we don't have a lot of extra income to be able to put into our band and even into stuff like this. And so I got to teach a seminar on kind of some DIY tips and low cost options for things that you can do as a band. And then I also did a seminar on being a Christian band or just Christians in a band, how to find your mission as a Christian musician. And I do believe that was recorded. I'll find out about getting it on here, because I think that would be really helpful. But it was a really great opportunity just to have that conversation with these kids and to kind of not give them a definite like direction on that, not tell them exactly what to do and exactly how that's going to apply to them and their music and their bands and the songs they write and everything, but to let them know the different like perspectives to have on that and what God may be calling them to do. So that was really cool. and then we got to play, and it was awesome, and it was so cool. And Nate Parrish, super super great guy. His whole team that played with him, awesome guys. Zana finally got to meet her. Finally got to meet her husband Patrick, and then Becca from Reclaim the Day was playing bass. Steve was a local at Arizona. He was playing guitar. It was just a really really special night and felt so fun. And so, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and share the clip. This is the Rockin Worship Bootcamp that's in Arizona that we got to be a part of. Here it is.
That's the last thing I ever want to be, is on a stage somewhere singing. But God has a sense of humor sometimes.
One of the most important things when you're starting out in music is the educational aspect.
You could make a lot of mistakes yourself, but why not let us do it first? Don't want to be, kind of like us, and we did, having to figure it out and winging it, when you're all the way 1,500 miles from home. You guys are going to be starting those bands that are going to inspire the next generations.
Yeah, so obviously such a good time. Like, that video did a great job of capturing the energy and the fun that was had that whole day. And that's just one day, so it's a 3-day boot camp, and there was just so much fun had the whole end of the week. There, it's like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I got to be there on Wednesday and Thursday. And yeah, just so much fun. And again, you could see everybody was having a good time. Again, for the kids who are growing up in this community, the Christian community, and it's so cool to see that all of them have different focuses. You could see from the video there was some acoustic worship happening in the morning, and they had devotionals in the morning, and then they had large seminars with Purpose Live, who was helping them out with like stage presence, the lighting, how to put on a show, how to do that aspect of the ministry of doing what we do as entertainers in the Christian community, but also entertainers using that as a tool to reach people outside of the church and outside of the Christian community. And then the concert night was just a blast. So much fun being out there with the kids. Nate Parrish rocked it. Zana did a great job. There was actually a local band too called 3 Heart Cross that was also a part of it. They were awesome. So just a great fun night. And if you're in the Arizona area and you're local to this, go to this. It was just so much fun. They've been doing this for 3 years, and each time it's been growing and growing. And it's my dream for them, and I know it's their dream, to just see that church and venue, wherever they end up doing it next year, to just be packed with a bunch of kids who want to learn their instrument, learn from people who are doing what they want to do, grow in their faith and how it applies to their calling to be a musician, and just be encouraged by the community, just be encouraged by people their own age as well, in growing and all that stuff. So anyways, that was super cool to be a part of. And I hope that we get to be a part of it again next year. And if not, I'm still going to try to find a way to promote it and still try to talk it up for anybody in the area, because it's just such a cool thing. We need more stuff like that. And that's the next generation. That's the next generation of Christian rock and metal artists. That's the next generation of Christian worship leaders, even the contemporary music, all that stuff, hip hop, rap. So KJ52 talked a lot about that. So, it's just such a cool thing to be a part of. So that happened, and literally days later, I got to talk with Mothership of Solid Rock Radio, backstage with Mothership, and do an interview with Cindy. And that, to be honest, guys, I've done videos of like my favorite podcasts, and I think I've mentioned when I listen to backstage with Mothership, it's just so cool to have been listening for so many years since finding the podcast, and going on runs, listening to this podcast, and just learning so much about the different artists from the Christian rock and metal community, and then to be invited to be a part of that. It's just such an awesome honor. And we got to talk about the Classic Disaster album, Too Blind to See. And that happened too, by the way. We released our EP, and I'll show a little clip of a promo for that too right now. But yeah, that all of that had been happening. On top of that, me trying to keep my sanity with my health, trying to still keep workouts going up, still trying to, since I've been gone so much, making sure that it didn't hurt financially. So making sure I got to work right when I got back, taking care of my boy Joey, who is 10.5 months right now. Crazy. Time is flying, you guys. And I got to bring him. I really wanted to bring him for this video. He's ready. I think he's going to love being a part of some of these videos, but he was really fussy tonight, so I just put him to sleep, and that was it. But yeah, all of that stuff was happening. And so we've also played a few shows, and so that got to happen. So I want to apologize, because I know I do this a lot where I'm taking these breaks, and then I do all these videos, and then I take another break. And so I want to say again, I really need to do this, because I do feel like it's what God has created me to do. And I just keep getting blessed left and right with awesome opportunities to meet more of the Christian community, and to be used through my band and through conversations that I have, to encourage people. And I want to keep doing this. And I'm really trying to get my butt in this seat on this mic to keep doing this, because I need it. I know somebody out there probably needs it. God is using it, and I want to continue to do that and be faithful to doing that. And it might look different. I sometimes feel the pressure that I have to do it in this format with my laptop and with the OBS plugin stuff, where I can bring up videos and show all this stuff. I sometimes feel obligated to do that, and I know that I don't have to feel obligated to doing that. I can just jump on and talk with you guys about a recent release. It doesn't have to always look all this flashy and stuff. One other really big thing that happened, just to let you guys know, was one of the videos that I released got blocked because of a copyright thing from one of the bands. And it's a band that I've done reactions to before, so I didn't think this was going to be such an issue. And I should actually go back and see if other videos have been blocked in the past, like retroactively. But I got to tell you, it is draining. It drains your motivation when you do something like this, and you sit down for an hour or two, and you go through the extra hour or two of editing and posting and sharing and all that stuff, typing in and writing all the stuff that you do to create all this content. And then for something like that to happen, where your video gets blocked, And because of the way I've tried to set this up, where I know I fall behind, and so I've been trying to lump in a bunch of different artists, when one song gets flagged for copyright, it affects all of the bands that are on that video. And so one of those videos got blocked, and it was one of the recent ones. I think it was not the last one that I had released, but the second to the last one that I released. And it had Memphis Mayfire on there. Memphis Mayfire is one of my favorite bands, chaotic. Had multiple releases from Convictions, and so I was really bummed. My fellow brethren in SoCal, Unworthy, was on that video, and so it was really draining my motivation to sit down and do this, because I wanted to re-release that video, and I know it's going to take a little bit of effort to do that. And so, I have a cup of motivation that as I get older, unfortunately, I feel that cup getting smaller and smaller, but that cup can only get poured into so many things. And when I do have work and my family and my ministry and worship leading, my church, all that stuff, I sometimes feel like I got nothing left to deal with some of those other things. Like the bad things that come up, like a video getting blocked or a file getting lost, or, it's just so draining when something like that happens. So I was just kind of really bummed about stuff like that. And I finally reposted the video, so it's up, and the band, you can skip past that section. I kind of sped through it, and I don't know. Okay. I don't know the details behind all of that. I don't know if it's the band's fault. I don't know if it's the label's fault, the subsidiary label, or if it's the head label, right? Because some of these smaller labels are owned by bigger ones. And so sometimes it could be the bigger label that's doing that. And look, this so far, I don't know a way to monetize doing this YouTube channel in a way that doesn't kind of, breach what the intention of this channel is supposed to be. Like, I really don't want to charge for reactions. That's not something that I've wanted to do, and that's not something I plan to do, unless there was some way to do it that made sense, where I could continue doing reactions for bands for free and not be bombarded with a bunch of paid ones, because I don't want to be like sold. I'd rather just do the ones that I feel called to do, and let go of the ones that I feel called to let go of, and let somebody else do, right? Christopher from Rock, for the Rock, is doing reactions too. So go check out his reactions, and he might be reacting to some bands that I'll never be able to get to. And I might react to some bands that he may not even know of or get to himself, so we want to spread the responsibility as much as possible. And I feel better about that when I know someone else is doing that. So I don't want to get in this position where I'm getting paid to do all that stuff, right? This is all basically free, and so I don't know who ends up making the decisions where it's like, no, we're not going to let that guy do this, and not going to let that guy do this reaction. We're going to block the whole video. I don't know who's in charge of that decision. I don't blame the band. I'm not gonna take that stance. I'm gonna hope for the best and hope that it's not the band's fault. But just because that's already happened, I don't know if I can trust doing reactions for that band anymore. Or maybe when I do it, it's just gonna have to be its own video, and I'll just have to take the gamble with, spending an hour reacting and editing and blah all that stuff, and taking the gamble, hoping that the video will be able to stay there. But just know that that's part of the behind the scenes stuff. And that time is sometimes takes away from other things. And so I'm just trying to be a good steward of my time, especially when this isn't something that's adding to me providing for my family. It's just something that I feel like God is calling me to do. And I know that God is providing for me and my family constantly, like left and right. He's blessing us. So I just want to remain faithful to doing this no matter what. but I got to also be smart about the chances that I take when something like that happens, where now so much time got wasted, so much effort and got wasted because of all of that. And then it drained me of motivation. So I ended up not doing some videos because of that. So just know that happened behind the scenes. And again, not an excuse. I should be still coming on here and doing this. Like I said, I need it. And I know someone out there is going to feel blessed by it. So I want to continue doing it, but just know that that was part of it as well. All right. So with that, you guys, going forward, I think what I want to do is just make sure that I'm putting out videos consistently, and I need to not care how it comes out. This is my favorite format because I have the ease of using my laptop to be able to bring up stuff, bring up talking about my band and bring up, all of the stuff that comes up. This is my favorite format because I feel comfortable doing it. And I think it's a good way to bring up those videos and react to them and all that stuff. But I think I'm going to be more open to just grabbing the phone and doing a selfie recording video and talking about some of these songs every once in a while, talking about album and EP releases, because I just want to keep putting out more content. I want the conversation to keep going. I don't want to have these months in between videos. It just breaks my heart to see the time go by and to see that the conversation isn't continuing and that I'm not a part of it. I really try to make it so that these reactions are authentic, and so I won't listen to some songs. And obviously during the last couple of months, there's been some songs that I haven't listened to and some songs that I have. There's been multiple Memphis Mayfire releases. Trevor came on and did a feature on the Judge and Jury song. There was Wolves at the Gate and Lacey, some Heal the Hurt stuff came out. Holy Name. I'm going to go see Holy Name tomorrow night, so obviously I wanted to be prepared. So I listened to the song. So, I try to make these things authentic, and I'm going to get back to doing a lot of that. The consistency helps me to do that because obviously if I know I'm going to do a video tomorrow, I feel less tempted to listen to the song today. But if I don't know if I'm doing a video for another month, then obviously I'll just go ahead and listen to the song and then do a reaction later on and kind of break it down and still dive into it with you guys. But obviously it wouldn't be the first time that I heard it. So I think that's how things are going to look moving forward. I'm trying, you guys. And I don't know if you noticed, but I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan on how to do this channel. I just know that it's something I want to do, and I love creating music, and I love examining it, and I love having these conversations and talking about this kind of stuff. And so I don't have the blueprints on how to do it and how to sustain it, but I'm going to sustain it as best I can, and I'm going to just dance with it as best I can. These conversations, I really do believe and feel like they have to happen, especially you guys, with the time of year it is. Elections are coming up, and I know that there's so many things that are going to be dividing us in the next couple of months that it really helps to have a community to lean on where we can talk about music and we can talk about these spiritual themes that are in these songs, or even just these life themes that are in these songs. And I really want to do what I can to make this, hashtag millennial buzzword, a safe space, make this a safe space to be able to have those conversations and not feel burdened by the divisiveness that we might feel outside of these spaces. I'm so excited for tomorrow night for the Holy Name concert. It's Holy Name, it's Convictions, it's Impending Doom, it's Meadows, and Dynasty is another band I think that's playing there. And, again, we're in California, so finances are really tight, but I was part of the Classic Disaster was part of that aggressive worship tour when Convictions and Cultists were there, and Confessions of a Traitor. And there was just something so special about that night that I feel like whatever that feeling was and that vibe was, it's just going to be times 10 tomorrow night, because Holy Name with Tommy Green and Impending Doom and Convictions there. I just feel like there's going to be the family there in SoCal. The family is going to come together, and that's not something I want to miss. And Trevor Tyson is going to be there from Heal the Hurt and Trevor Talks and Grizzly Awards and all that stuff. So it's going to be cool to talk with him and see him again. I don't think Classic Disaster even put out a song the first time I met him at Calvary Chapel, Golden Springs, when the Unbelievable tour, the Whosoever's tour thing came out. It's somewhere on the wall here. It's like right there. Yeah. I got to meet him, and it was just brief, and I was like, oh, I know you. And I don't think he knew me at all. So it's cool to kind of flash forward a couple of years and here we are. But yeah, you guys, that's how I think things are going to move forward. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. And first, let me go ahead and just kind of give a little promo for my band. We did put out our EP. It was, and here's the cool thing. So I'm not going to waste a whole video on talking about my band, because this channel's not all about my band. But I do want to say that part of what I always say in the introduction of Sanctify Studios is that I create sanctifying and biblical music, and I examine, right? And you guys get a lot of the examining and the breaking down music and talking about it. And I haven't talked a lot about the creating aspect. Like what exactly does Sanctify Studios create here? Like what am I creating in this room, in this studio? And this whole EP, okay, the Too Blind to See EP was pretty much mostly fine-tuned written, because it was kind of written when I was in apartments and stuff, and Josh came in and helped write the last 3 songs of the EP. But it was fine-tuned written, produced and recorded here in the studio, and mixed and mastered here in the studio. Robert Manzone helped us out with our singles, and he did an amazing job with that. And you can kind of hear the different flavors between what Sanctify Studios' work was and what his work was. And it's not that one is better than the other, totally just different flavors. And he did a great job with it. Those are still on Spotify, so you can hear his versions. It just got to a point where, like, I didn't know when we were going to be able to work on the songs and get them to him. And he was transitioning into being the lead singer for the new band that he's a part of. And so it just got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and try to do these next couple of songs and try to bring some consistency to the songs, because I just don't know when I'm going to be able to continue sending you the songs, and I don't know if it's going to interfere with his schedule. And then not only that, but like the cost of having such a high budget. He didn't charge a lot, and I'm not saying he charged a lot, but from what we were spending and what we knew we probably would be making, I was just like, well, if we can keep the cost down and be a DIY, then maybe that'll be better. Sanctify Studios, obviously we want to try to create our music, and so it was a good way of just kind of jumping out of the nest and just trying to fly with what we were working with. And so, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows, like, I'm super grateful for Robert Manzone's work and who he is as a person. And he's doing so many awesome projects. He's just an awesome dude. Zero reasons on his side as to why he wasn't able to do the other songs. It was totally on us and just not knowing when things were going to be put out for him to work on. But with that, the EP version of all of the songs was all mixed and mastered here, recorded and produced here. And so we got to create everything here. And so if you're wanting to see what we're capable of doing here at the studio, that EP is a good representation of that. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely got that aggressive flavor and a full sound, kind of a good low end, and just I wanted it to be beefy, I wanted it to be big, I wanted it to be energetic, and that's what we were shooting for with the mix and master and production and stuff. So yeah. So with that, let me go ahead and share with you a little promo for the album so you can check it out. This is our Too Blind to See promo. Available now. You can listen to it on Spotify. One of the ways that you can actually help this channel and help, support this channel and support the band is by going and buying the album, buying the EP. It's available on Bandcamp. Fridays are the best day to purchase on Bandcamp. You can actually buy a physical CD of the EP on Kunaki, and that's linked in our link tree. So anything helps. Like, honestly, even if you can just stream and you can't buy the EP, if you put our song in a playlist, like, we still get residuals from that. And I know everyone is complaining that like Spotify doesn't pay enough and all that stuff, and that may be true, but it still helps us to get a little bit of extra income for things that we're planning on doing, like our shows and like replenishing equipment, buying new merch, all that fun stuff. So all of that really, really helps and goes a long way. So if you haven't picked up the EP and you are interested in Christian rock and metal and you want to check it out, it's available on Bandcamp. It's available on Kunaki through the link in our link tree, and available for streaming everywhere. Throw it in a playlist. Throw it in your favorite playlist. If you like working out, To the Ground is a great option. I actually re-recorded some of the vocals because I wanted to do a different style of vocal. It's so funny when you start out with your first song, and To the Ground was technically our first original single. And I was like, how do I want to sing this? Because I know how I would sing it live, but I wasn't sure exactly what direction to go in. And I feel like I made the wrong choice with that song. And again, you can hear the difference because they're both there on Spotify. And I just had a more aggressive approach to it in the EP version. So yeah, that's all there, and you can check that out. All right, guys. Well, thank you for bearing with me on this update video. And I'm excited to keep doing some reactions and keep the conversation going. I really mean it, though. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what's been going on. Let me know what I can pray for you for. Like, legit, let me know what I can pray for you for. Because another awesome, amazing, humbling thing that happened over the course of this break is that the channel's just been growing, and people have been finding these videos and continuing to comment on them. Somebody just commented on one of my first videos, the Lacey Sturm Awaken Love video, and I was like, wow, it's so cool that like people are still seeing these videos from way back then, and that it's encouraging them. Like, again, like, you as artists and as content creators, you don't always get to see how people are encouraged by what you do. But it's such a blessing to know that something I did 3 years ago is encouraging somebody today. So just know that I'm super humbled and blessed by that truth, and I really want to know how you guys are doing. So let me know. Comment down below if there's anything going on financially. I feel you. If there's anything going on with your family, if there's anything going on with your marriages, if there's anything going on with your work, like, just let me know. I'd love to pray for you. And I just miss you guys. I miss the community. I miss continuing to do these videos, and I got to get back to it, and I'm going to get back to it. So, all right, guys. With that, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos arrive. Go ahead and leave a comment down below with all the stuff I just talked about. And yeah, till next time, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.